Here we go. Most computers don't get hacked. They get invited in. When people think about hackers, they imagine someone sitting in a dark room, furiously typing code until they magically break into a computer. The reality is much simpler. Most malware infections happen because someone clicked on something that they shouldn't have. Today, I'm going to show you the most common ways computers actually get infected, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. Welcome to Digital Survival Guide, Episode 1, Most Common Ways Computers Get Infected. I am Lord Byte. Yes, I'm changing the name. Yes. And my goal is to help everyday people stay safe online without overwhelming you. Cybersecurity isn't always about fear. It's about awareness. Once you understand how attackers trick people, you're already much harder to fool. So let's take a look at some common ways computers become infected. Now, before we talk about infections, let's answer probably the most important question first. What exactly is malware? You've probably heard the word before and have an idea of what it might be, but let's dig into it a little bit more. Malware, put simply, is short for malicious software. It's any software designed to damage your computer, steal your information, spy on you, or disrupt your computer and how it works. But malware doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Someone or something has to let it in. The most common ways computers get infected is through phishing emails, predominantly. These emails pretend to be one of the companies that you trust, like Amazon, your bank account, Microsoft, UPS, even your boss at work. The goal is simple: to get you to click on a link to open an attachment. So if you get one of these emails and something feels urgent or unexpected, slow down before you click on anything. Don't let that immediate anxiety of, oh no, get the better of you. Always double check. Especially if it makes you feel like you need to move fast or solve a problem. Like, oh no, my bank account is overdrawn. I need to respond to this with that link that they put there. Double check your account. Make sure that there's actually money in it, like logging into your actual account. And if your boss sends you something weird and it sounds funky, definitely be like, did you send me this link to click on? Just always double check, double verify. You never know. Another one is a common infection method is downloading software from unofficial websites or fake downloads. Free games, cracked software, key generators, video converters, browser tools, pretty much anything that you can buy for free. If they offer it for free and it's something that is normally not free, most likely you're gonna buy something with malware inside. That's your first warning, is if something that costs money and like, surprise, here's something free, double check, don't click. Fake pop-ups, fake ads. Have you ever seen like something that pops up whenever you're online? Your computer's infected. Click here immediately. Fake pop-ups. Normal websites that you go on can't actually scan your computer, so these fake alerts are designed to scare you into downloading malware. So if it pops up saying, hey, you have a virus on your computer, websites can't actually do that. They can't actually scan your PC from that far without permission. So your safest response is close the browser tab. Don't click anywhere inside the pop-up. Another one is attachments and emails, which we kind of went over a little bit, or other methods like Facebook, Instagram. Pretty much anywhere you can put a link into a chat or anywhere can be dangerous, especially if they arrive unexpectedly from a person you don't know. Zip files, executable files, Office documents asking you to enable macros, even PDFs can sometimes be used in attacks, Word documents, Yeah, pictures. Some pictures, we call that obfuscation, the ability to hide malware into seemingly less items like pictures. If you weren't expecting the attachment or picture, verify it before opening it, which we'll go into in a later episode about how to verify. USB drives, it's another one. Imagine finding USB somewhere in a parking lot. My gosh, you'll hear this all the time. Don't pick up USBs in a parking lot and plug it into your computer. Sometimes it needs to be said. Any weird USB. You might be curious on what's on it, but that's exactly what the attackers want to get to your brain, is your curiosity, to plug it in and find out what it is. Never do it. Curiosity can be an expensive mistake. See, browser extensions can make life easier. If you don't know what a browser extension is, it's a small software module inside in your web browser. So think of like Chrome, Safari, Yahoo, to customize your internet experience. They perform specific tasks such as blocking ads, managing passwords, or applying custom themes. Basically, it's your browser. So Chrome, you can kind of like mess with your browser and do stuff, save your passwords, yada yada. But they can also collect your browsing data, use your cookies. They can ingest advertisements and even steal information. So before installing one, make sure you have a good one and do a little bit of research into them. Like, do you really need that? And to make sure that it's from a legitimate source, not just a random one. Here's one that may or may not surprise people. Not every attack installs malware. Sometimes they simply can log in. So if you reuse the same passwords over and over for different stuff, one leaked password could give somebody access to all of your accounts that have that password. And that's where social engineering comes in. Basically, social engineering is the psychological manipulation of people into performing actions or divulging confidential information. So they're hacking your brain to trick you into handing over passwords, transferring funds, or downloading malware. They manipulate you. They create urgency. They create fear. They create excitement. They create curiosity. Their goal is to make you make a decision before you stop and think about, if that's a good thing or not. So here's the good news. Protecting yourself doesn't require being a cybersecurity expert. Essentially, slow down before clicking anything. Always double check. Download download software from official websites. HTTPS in the top left corner. Make sure that's there, because they can pretend to be Microsoft. Use strong, unique passwords. If you don't know about passwords and how to make them strong, sometimes it'll offer you an option. But here's a hint. Look up waterfall passwords. Those are great, especially if you can save them in your browser. We'll go into more of the securities on that one a little bit later on, but waterfalls are pretty good passwords if you mess with them, and I'll go into deeper detail about how to make a really good waterfall password later on. Turn on multi-factor authentication whenever you can for any item. I'll also show you why that can be easily hacked. So you want to do multi-factor authentication not only through your email but through your phone, so that way you have the thing to get you in instead of an email, which they could hack too. And lastly, if anything feels suspicious, trust your instincts. They might be trying to fool you. And always verify, double check. Most malware infections don't happen because someone has a bad computer or they're bad with computers. They happen because attackers are really good at manipulating people. The more you can recognize the tricks, the safer you'll be. So next month, In episode 2 of the Digital Survival Guide, I will take a closer look. We'll go into a deep dive about phishing emails and why they're still the most successful cyber attacks today. So until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, your best antivirus is an informed mind. Peace out, y'all. And that's the clip. So you can either clip this part out or save this for later. If you don't want to know how I make these videos, is I do research, analysis, make sure that the information is correct. I put it all into ChatGPT, and that sucker spits out like bullet points that then I use. So if it looks like I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my bullet points. Most of the information is in here, but I need that to kind of like keep me on track. So if you notice my eyes are going like, that's me looking at my bullet points. But no, every month I have a series. What do I call it? I can never remember the names of anything. AI is in Magic, Season 1. Technology is in Magic, Season 1. And then Digital Survival Guide, which is the first episode I did of this one, actually. So every month I'll post another episode of the next phase of those seasons until I get to, I have like 20 shows in my head that I want to go over with all of you guys. So, and once I get back to my home next week, it'll be much, much easier to do all this. Because right now I'm doing it from a single laptop, which is obnoxious. So, if you guys have stayed this long to the end, thank you. And we'll see you guys in the next one. May the force be with you.